My name is Nick Valentino. I'm an academic counselor in the Hajim Dean's office. This is another installment of the Full Spectrum series. This is our last week of the Full Spectrum series. Today we are doing engineering science, and on Friday we'll be doing material science. Please note for Friday, we're actually starting earlier in the morning. It's starting at 10. You'll receive a notification if you're a first-year student especially. That we will be starting then. Today with engineering science, we have Dean Lisa Norwood. Dean Norwood is omnipresent in the Hajim School and on campus. She's also an alum of the University of Rochester. I've also indicated in the chat, if you could take a look, that if you're interested in winning a prize, you can send me your email. I am going to monitor your questions as they're coming in through the chat. If you'd like to voice them over the microphone, you could do so if you feel more comfortable putting them in the chat, and I will periodically let Dean Norwood know that you have a question. So for now, I'm going to turn it over to you, Lisa, to tell us a little bit more about engineering science.
Yay, thank you, Nick. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I welcome you from wherever you are, and I'm glad that you're joining our presentation today. This session is designed to give you an overview of the BA in Engineering Science major. So the goals for today's presentation, I will be reviewing why we offer the major, the curriculum and career opportunities. Other presenters will talk about the Grand Challenges Scholars Program and career planning and outcomes. And hopefully we'll have plenty of time for questions and answers. Okay, so what is engineering science? The BA in engineering science provides a flexible and interdisciplinary engineering experience for students who wish to broaden their learning horizons across disciplines, particularly in the liberal arts. The BA is different from the ABET accredited BS degree in that it requires the integration of engineering studies with significant studies in the humanities and social sciences. Consequently, the BA provides a strong background for students who wish to pursue careers in technical sales, public service, management, entrepreneurship, for example. Its mission is to educate students, to make them able to develop and convey solutions to multidisciplinary problems, which require scientific, technological, global, and social perspectives. Okay. So why study engineering science? Typically, if you're good at math, physics, and science, but you also have a lot of other non-technical interests and possibly are drawn to engineering, but you sense that there are many other opportunities to be found in combining these skills and knowledge, particularly in interdisciplinary ways, getting your degree in engineering science could give you just the combination that you're seeking. The engineering science program, in other words, has some depth for people interested in engineering, but certainly not as much as a BS in engineering. It also allows for some depth in the humanities and social sciences. The heart of the course of study is creating students who are more technologically literate while allowing them to pursue fields and other interests. The program was created in recognition that there are a number of students who want some background in engineering, but don't necessarily intend to go into the engineering field. Every year, we also have a handful of engineering science students who, for one reason or another, couldn't handle the technical requirements of the BS program or decided that they wanted to downgrade in some way. While this may not be why they came to Rochester specifically, they realized that their technical experiences are still valuable to employers in that they allow a student to play the role of communicator across disciplines. And I like this particular cartoon because it talks about that particular role, that the Bachelor of Arts in Engineering Science is for people who want to be conversant in technology, but not necessarily become practicing engineers. Okay. So engineers are trained to ask a lot of why questions and then use their resources to figure out the best possible solution within given constraints. This skill is transferable to the humanities and social sciences in that it helps people logically determine what problems need to be solved and in what order. The BA in Engineering Science curriculum provides a broad foundation in the sciences and associated mathematics that underlie engineering, such as mechanics, electricity and magnetism, fluid and thermodynamics, computational analysis, circuits, and chemistry. Okay. One of the best ways to determine if engineering is something that you'd like to add to your other interests is to enroll in one of our introductory engineering courses. They are designed around specific topics. We also have a handful of 2-credit hands-on design courses, such as basic machine fabrication, that gets you certified to work solo in our fabrications lab. Okay, so within the total of 32 courses or 128 credit hours required to earn the BA in Engineering Science, a minimum of 8 courses must be in the natural sciences, including 1 in chemistry, 2 in physics, and 3 in math. A total of 9 Hajim School courses are also required, broken down as 3 required courses, 2 core courses, and 4 electives. The elective courses should be chosen in consultation with a faculty advisor, with at least one of them being at the 200 level. As with the BA in Arts and Sciences, engineering science students must complete 2 clusters as well as the primary and upper level writing requirements. This still leaves lots of free electives to fill in any way the student desires. The possibilities of coupling the engineering science major with humanities and social science disciplines are boundless and prepare students to address the complexities of the world in which we live. So notice on this slide the word optional. It's capitalized because this means that students can choose to specialize in certain focus areas if they so desire. This is usually done through careful selection of clusters, minors, and electives. These courses that the students select would lead to a more in-depth understanding of a particular topic and even possibly a minor. Students are not required to follow a particular track though. Sample schedules can be viewed on the engineering website that I've listed below. But to give you an example, students with an interest in sustainable environmental energy, or engineering rather, may want to investigate this option of majoring in engineering science with a minor in sustainability that would satisfy the social science division of the Rochester curriculum. To round things out, students might also then consider completing the humanities cluster, sustainability, and the humanities. The engineering ethics area encourages students to complete a philosophy minor that satisfies the humanities division of the Rochester curriculum. Engineering in business contains a curriculum combining coursework in both business and engineering, enabling graduates to work successfully in technical-oriented business positions such as technical sales. Students complete a business minor that satisfies the social division of the Rochester curriculum. And finally, the Renewable Energy Sample Program selects specialized engineering elective courses in solar energy, hydropower, and biofuels, supplemented with some environmental science and environmental policy courses. Students would complete a minor in sustainability that would satisfy the social science division of the Rochester curriculum. And students, once again, could complete the humanities cluster, sustainability, and the humanities. So now I'm going to ask my colleague, Emma DeRizzi, to quickly discuss how the engineering science major is the perfect way to begin solving some of the biggest challenges of the 21st century.
Hi, everyone. I'm Emma DeRisi. I'll start out just by telling you I'm only going to give you a very brief overview of the program. There's a lot of information on the Hajim website if you just search for Grand Challenges Scholars Program, as well as how to reach me if you want to talk more about it. So again, this is just kind of a very brief overview. But the Grand Challenges program is essentially a capstone style program for students to sort of combine their schoolwork with their extracurricular activities, things they do over the summer like research or internships, and to put that all under the umbrella of one grand challenge. What are the grand challenges? The grand challenges are a call to universities to graduate engineers that are able to solve global problems and to do so from a variety of perspectives. And that's why the engineering science curriculum is perfect for the Grand Challenges Scholars Program, because you have so many opportunities to add things out to your degree that can fulfill some of the requirements of this program. But more importantly, they give you a really holistic view of all of the problems that I'm gonna go over with you. There are five dimensions that you have to complete in this program. They're listed here: research, interdisciplinary, entrepreneurship, global dimension, and service learning. And the idea is that you will do something under each one of these 5 areas that relates to one of the grand challenges, giving you this umbrella that will cover not only your schoolwork, but also extracurricular things that you do outside of the program. And we do recognize scholars at commencement weekend, and there are a lot of opportunities to participate with the National Academy of Engineering, and they recognize graduates of this program also by sending you a certificate from them and keeping track of you in their records and on their websites. So these are what the grand challenges are. There are 4 themes to the grand challenges. One of them is sustainability, and you can see listed here that there are 5 grand challenges that come under the heading of sustainability: making solar energy affordable, providing energy from fusion, access to clean water, developing carbon sequestration methods, and managing the nitrogen cycle. The next grand challenge theme is security, and there are 3 challenges under that, which are restore and improve urban infrastructure, preventing nuclear terror, and securing cyberspace. Health is the 3rd theme, and the specific challenges are advancing health informatics, engineering better medicines, and reverse engineering the brain. And last but not least is joy of living, which is also called quality of life. And the 3 challenges under that are enhancing virtual reality, advanced personalized learning, and engineering the tools of scientific discovery. The main value of this program for students, just to kind of let you know why should you do this, is that it gives you a way to talk about what you did while you were an undergraduate, right? It gives you a project to talk about, something you created, something that you did beyond your coursework. And it gives you a vehicle for talking about research that you did, extracurricular things that you did, study abroad, things that might not come up if you don't have a project to talk about. So that's the inherent value of the program, is the reflection piece. And the engineering science curriculum is perfect for that because of the 2 clusters and the flexibility that you have in the program to really tackle some of these problems in depth. So, and I look forward to
Emma.
you.
Thanks so much.
Sure.
So your undergraduate degree in engineering science won't qualify you to be a licensed professional engineer, but it will prepare you for a wide range of jobs with government, private consulting companies, and a variety of major industries. For the past several years, engineering science graduates have had plenty of career opportunities with firms such as Johnson Controls, the U.S. Department of Defense, and numerous other corporations. Additionally, graduates have had success in admissions to graduate schools, including medicine, law, business, education, and social sciences. Okay. The Bachelor of Arts in Engineering Science program has been around for over 3 decades at Rochester. During that time, there have been a few students in particular who have exemplified the program's goals. One was a woman who was interested in working in film. She recognized that the industry needs people who are capable of understanding both the creative end of things and the technical end of things as film goes digital. She didn't want to become a quote-unquote full-fledged engineer, but she wanted to become technically conversant enough so that she could talk with the tech folks about issues that came up with digitization and distribution of film. Then there was the organ builder. He was a student in organ performance at the Eastman School of Music, and his life's goal was to become a master organ builder. He knew that having courses in mechanical and electrical engineering, as well as in material science and biomechanics, would allow him to do that quite well. He wanted to be a musician first and an organ builder second. And then there's my buddy, Farid Adenuga, who has agreed to join us today to share his educational and career experiences. Farid, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
There we go. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope everything is well. So as Lisa said, my name is Farid Adenuga. I graduated in December 2016 from the University of Rochester with the engineering science degree. Currently, right now, I'm employed at Unitec Elevators. We're based out in Ozone Park, but we service all of the New York City areas and also New Jersey, as well as Long Island, as well as far up there. Just a little bit what I do right now. I'm a senior account rep, and I basically have a portfolio of clients within all of New York City. And my job is to grow that clientele and potential, and in terms of elevators, bringing on more clients, and then also maintaining, and then of course elevators are machines that break down. When they break down, we come into play in terms of repair. One thing that's great with my engineering background is that I'm able to use those knowledge and skills that I was able to get. One of the things that even stuck out to me in this presentation is the basic fabrication course. I took that. That's my favorite course at the University of Rochester, hands down. And I'm even using those applications now in terms of I'm able to go down to the warehouse, talk with the parts guy, and speak specifically about the engineering tools and different things within the elevators, and even the system with the pulleys and everything. So being able to use those experiences from the University of Rochester and directly apply it to what I'm doing today, that's definitely speaks volumes of how necessary, and even I would say definitely needed this engineering science curriculum is. A little bit about how I kind of got into engineering sciences. It's funny because I didn't know about it my entire time at the U of R until my last semester there, like literally my last semester. I was a mechanical engineering major the whole time. I lied. I started as chemical engineering. So chemistry wasn't for me. Decided to go to mechanical. It was a little more fun, so I stuck with it. I wasn't doing too well, but I was still doing enough to stay within the engineering curriculum. And then I remember I was in an internship with Carrier at that time in Indiana, and I got a call from my man Nick Valentino, and I just kind of basically just want to have a chat with me. It was in the summer. I remember that call, Nick.
I do.
Yeah, so at this point, I've done, this is my 4th year at the school. I did majority of the mechanical engineering curriculum. I also did what I was interested in because of a little bit of flexibility the University of Rochester offers. So I did some writing classes, some art classes, and it was actually fun for me for those classes and psychology classes and stuff like that. And Nick calls me. I remember I was standing in the living room and we're just talking, and he was like, listen, man, you could kind of stay with mechanical engineering. Like, we'll support you. We do whatever you want. We'll help you out. But there's this other major you might be interested in doing. So at that point, I already kind of knew which career path I wanted to go to. I was more sales orientated in terms of my skill set. So I wanted to combine my engineering skills and the technical capabilities that I had with my personability and also my sales expertise that I was kind of growing at that point. So I ended up, so I was like, I wanted to be a sales engineer at that point in the HVAC realm because I had an internship with Carrier. So Nick was like, yeah, I'm going to talk to you about this engineering science thing real quick. And he gave me a quick, basically, overview about this, using your applications for engineering and broader aspects. And to be honest, at that point, I was already all the way in towards the twilight of my college career. So I'm really more focused about graduating. So he focused really more about the course requirements and told me about that. And one thing he said is like, listen, you have everything technical already. Most of your core classes is coming up from mechanical engineering. You can definitely do that if you want, but if you want, this is what you could potentially take. And it was like, I'll be honest, it was like one-on-one classes because I already did all the engineering work prior. I did the math, physics, everything I needed. And all I just needed to take was like writing, like art, like things with that I wanted. Like if you like whatever you want, as long as it's within the arts and stuff like that, just 4 credits, you can do it.
You needed to complete a second cluster, right? You need to complete a
Yeah.
second cluster, right?
Yeah, to my second cluster, yes. So on our call, I was like, listen, it is what it is. I already know what I want. I kind of have a little bit of a network into the career field I want to do. I just did an engineering degree at this point. That's what I was thinking, because I was, like I said, it's my 4th year. But in hindsight, thinking about it in terms of my communications with Lisa to this day, and also with Nick to this day, about things that's going on with the university and things that could have possibly been done if I knew about this in my freshman year. Because if I knew about engineering sciences my freshman year, I feel like my whole like would be a different story. Because from my high school that I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I came from Tilden High School. I didn't take chemistry until college, so like my technical skills weren't as sharp as it should have been. However, I was still able to maneuver and still able to make it happen at the University of Rochester. But my main skills was like I said, in the other aspects of sales, more business aspects. But I still want to be technical because I enjoy that aspect of my day-to-day lifestyle. So being able to combine those two things and get the knowledge to understand how things work, why things work in a certain way, and then now apply it to certain problems that we see day to day. So for me now, in this specific instance that I'm at the Unitec Elevator Company, I'm using my mechanical backgrounds that I've gotten from physics, from, like I said, basic applications, from things of that nature, where I'm actually able to understand, like, okay, this is the premise, this is the mechanics behind this. Now I understand, so I could talk that jargon with my mechanics, because at the end of the day, I need to be able to communicate what's going on with my mechanics. Now with my other skill set, I can understand what that means, and I'm not going to tell a customer that owns a building that doesn't really know anything that didn't do any engineering or anything like that. I could say, like, oh, you know, the sensor that's blinking on your elevator, that's broken. But when I'm talking to the engineer, oh, the detector edge is broken, we needed to replace this fuse with it. Like, I'd be able to talk to him in that aspect. So I'm able to, like, use that engineering background and then also the other skill sets I was able to have and be able to apply that in that aspect. Even like some of the customers that I have, like even a customer like Con Edison, that's one of my customers. I service all the portfolio within the New York City area, even New Jersey too, I believe. And they have in-house elevator mechanics, but at the end of the day, they aren't that certain experts. They don't have that certain expertise that we deliver, because we have our own engineering staff, we have our own internal stuff. So that's kind of what we kind of deliver. So even a company like Con Ed, who has their own engineers in there, they are now well versed in that specific engineering that which elevators work. They might know some things, but not everything in terms of that. I'm trying to think.
That's great. Thank you, Farid. That really gives us a good overview. In a minute, we'll have some time for students to give us some questions. So hopefully you'll stay on and they'll be able to ask you some, in-depth questions about what you're doing now and how you got there. I'm glad that you covered a lot of the skills that you mentioned, because those are all skills that employers in a recent National Association of Colleges Employers Survey they talked about skills that they needed out of their employees. They're listed in order of most often, the amount of times that they were most often said in the survey. And what I'd like to do is to turn this portion of the presentation over to my colleagues in the Career Center to talk a little bit more about outcomes, what employers want, and how to do career planning with a major in engineering science. So I see that both Laura and David are online. I'm not quite sure who I should turn this over to, but go for
it. I'll take a crack at it, and David, if you just want to pipe in, you're welcome to do that. So yes, we are with the Green Center. That's the Career Center here on campus. I'm a career advisor, as is my colleague David. And what do? We help students explore careers. We help students network and think about getting internships, applying to grad school, applying for jobs eventually. But it's the kind of thing where you want to get engaged with us early and often. So I wanted to just give you some perspectives about engineering science that I've seen over the years. If I was good at math and science, I would major in engineering science because it's awesome. It's flexible. It's interdisciplinary. This is what employers need these days. They need people who can see the whole picture. There's room to explore. So if you're thinking, oh, I can't decide, I don't know what I want to do it all, right? Well, maybe not all, but if you have diverse interests, it's a really great degree to explore. You can take some courses in humanities. You can study some social science stuff, business. It all fits together in a really nice way to do these skills that are up on this slide. The other thing I wanted to mention is that if you are thinking, well, I might want to be an actual engineer, and I'm hearing maybe this is for people who just want a technical background, don't want to be an engineer. I could tell you that many, many internships and jobs, both technical and maybe sort of semi-technical, when they talk about the academic background they're looking for in candidates, sometimes they just say engineering. They don't care what kind. They want someone who can think like an engineer. So your discipline may not matter for many opportunities as much as the skills, like the problem solving and communication, the experiences that you have, the knowledge that you're developing, and the interests and passions that you have. So I guess my main thing with engineering science is, don't get too hung up on, oh my gosh, I have to decide on a specific discipline. These are conversations you can have with a career advisor and with your academic advisors and faculty, but really, your engineering major is a piece of your story and how you're doing some really important things, like get curious, get out there, figure out what is out there that you want to mold into a career for yourself, and try things out. Internships, research, all of that stuff happens with engineering science majors. Talking to people at the Green Center, we can help you use LinkedIn, the Meliora Collective. Handshake is another platform that we have where you can connect with students and alumni to talk about careers. And ultimately, it's all about telling your story, your unique story, and figuring out how engineering science plays into that. And the Green Center can help with all that. So that's about what I have. David, did you have anything to add?
I think, Laura, you did a beautiful job. Well done.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I think it comes down to all four of those areas that Laura just talked about, and especially the telling your story, really kind of figuring out all the ways that you can tell your story, but being confident and open to do that, and letting people know what you want, what the skills are that you have, just like what Laura said, and you're versatile. You're able to move into a lot of different areas, and so talking about that, being able to share that is important.
Yep.
Great. Thank you guys so very much. And we finished just in time to give the participants the opportunity to ask some questions. So fire away. I don't see anything in our chat, so that means folks can unmute themselves and just speak out loud, whatever is on your mind.
So Wendy, let me ask a question. This
Sure.
seems very, very confusing with lots of choices. And if I come in, I don't know if I want to be a mechanical engineer or do an applied science. What happens if I guess wrong when I come in?
If you guess wrong,
If
there is no guessing.
Wrong degree. I'm really destined to be an electrical engineer, but I go into a different program. What happens to me?
Well, my belief is that there's no such thing as a bad experience. I mean, there are bad experiences, but they are also opportunities for good outcomes. So the key thing you want to do when you're selecting a major is to talk to people. If you're unsure of what you want to do, talk to your professors, talk to the folks in the Career Center, do some introspective work to think about, why did you say you want to major in electrical engineering or engineering science? Is it the love or the idea of being an engineer? Is it the fact that you really do love math and science? Or are you following a dream of your parents? So college is the opportunity to really think, explore, make mistakes, learn from the mistakes. Like any other engineering design problem, it's all about tweaking, coming up with a solution, testing it, realizing where the weaknesses and flaws are, redesigning it. And so it's an iterative process. So in my mind, there's no such thing as a wrong major.
I would have to agree. If I can just, add on to that. So let's say, you're majoring in, mechanical engineering, and all of a sudden you decide you're interested in power. Oh no, maybe I should have been an electrical engineer. I think that's a really narrow way of looking at it, because guess what? Mechanical engineers work in the power industry. So I think there's always a way, once you're discovering your interests, what they are, there's always a way to take what you already have and build on it. So that's sort of my perspective on that.
Reed, do you want to add to that? Since I think that was somewhat of your experience.
I'll say yeah, because like I said earlier, like I came in as thinking as I want to be chemical engineer, and then my experience with chemistry was not good. So I decided to switch. I became a mechanical engineer because I thought that was a little more towards my suit, and it was enjoyable at points. I had frustration points as well. That's why when, like I said, retrospectively, if I knew about more engineering sciences at that point, I would have definitely taken upon this to now use this as a avenue to do more exploration to see what specific niche market kind of suits my sense, my skill sets. I do agree with you, Lisa, and Laura's sentiments in terms of there is no bad experiences. It's just learning experiences, because as you experience something, you're going to know this was good. I can do this again. This was bad. I should not do this again. Just from knowing that from your own experiences, you can shape now your future decisions, your future thought thinking process, and can now grow as a person. And then, of course, there will be bad experiences. That's what something it's called life. Like no matter what, something will happen. But like as long as you keep that positive attitude, I really understand that they can learn from things and you can grow from things. You'll be able to really pick up yourself from that experience, and then, okay, how should I move forward and do this so this doesn't happen again?
Gotcha. I'm going to put another participant on the spot. We've got another alum on the call, Kelvin Valdez, who graduated. I think Kelvin just graduated a year ago. Kelvin, would you like to unmute and add a little bit about your experience and what you're finding now that you're out in the real world? Oh, maybe he stepped away. That's what I get for putting him on the spot. Okay, well, hopefully he'll chime in at some point, but other folks have questions?
One of the things I wanted to bring up was with these sessions, we try to remind students, especially prospective students, that you're accepted to the university and not as a separate application into the engineering school. So you may be working with not a ton of information. So for the engineering students who are potentially interested in engineering science, we say of the other engineerings, which are you think you're most interested in, so that you can take that intro course without necessarily fully committing to a different major. So a lot of times the discussions we have is that, I think I want to be a chemical engineer, but I'm not sure. And then the more they hear about it, they're more interested in the sustainability part of it, and the engineering science is actually a better fit. So we have some prospective students who are looking at this. I wanted them to make sure that that this is not just a full commitment and then you're in for the 4 years. There is some latitude. Do we have any questions? Anything in the chat? Like, feel free to ask anything at this time. Like I said, I know there are prospective students on here, so you have advisors and faculty and alum on here. Staff, we can answer pretty much anything.
Well, wait. Let me just interject. Those of you who are joining us for the first time today, there's actually a whole series of these. So we've done 8 other available majors within the engineering school here at the U of R. So you can look those up on the Facebook page for the Hajim School, and those will give you again some depth on different fields. But again, as Nick just said, it's really, when you come here, you take a guess. If your guess is wrong, it's not a big deal to switch between different engineering programs, or even move into the non-engineering aspect of things. So take your best shot at what you think you might want to do coming in, and the series can help you with that. But if you make a choice and you decide later that I'd really rather be something else, that's really an easy switch to make.
All right. Any last questions that we can think of? We have a few minutes.
So if this was a class, I'd go and I'd start picking names out from the and ask you a question, but we won't do that here. But
I just want to make a quick note before I head out, specifically to Laura Jones, because I personally went to the Career Center when I was at the University of Rochester. She tremendously helped me with my resume and everything. So I just want to make that note because I didn't know you were on the call until you spoke. I just want to thank you so much.
Well,
And
thank
above
you,
all,
Farid.
Lisa,
It was
appreciate
certainly
you.
my pleasure.
Oh.
And look at you now, you know?
Right.
There's still more growth to be done. Next steps, MBA and future on. So
Yeah.
everything takes. All right.
Good. Very good.
All right.
Thanks for joining us, Farid. I really appreciate your being here.
No worries. Anything I can do for you. You know you got me.
I think we're almost even now. I mean, Farid was
Almost.
a thorn in my side for most of the time he was here. So.
Just a little bit. I mean,
a little tiny. So.
all right. So
Oh,
thank you
goodness.
guys, everybody. Appreciate you guys for having me on. Have a wonderful day, and feel free to reach out if you have any elevator needs.
Perfect. Thanks. Bye, Farid.
Bye.
Okay. So I guess that's it, huh?
That's it. Well, I guess we don't have any other questions. We've posted both links to our Facebook page with the videos and our YouTube channel that also has not just the Hayden videos, but other information. We're going to post information about how to contact the Career Center because we hope that these discussions have given you ideas, especially if you're a prospective student, on how to go forward. So it doesn't just stop there, but we were very fortunate. Thank you, Dean Norwood, for coming and presenting for such a full presentation. This is actually, I think, the most amount of active students we've had on the call. So, and like I said, we will be back on Friday at 10 a.m. with materials science. And so we hope that you have a good week, and we will see you soon.
Thanks.
thank you, Lisa. Thanks, Nick.